finally returning home, is there anything you regret?
I have traveled to Japan, so feel free to ask me anything. I consider myself quite knowledgeable about Japan, so I won't lose to you, who is studying abroad.
Now that you're finally returning home, make sure to share your experiences in Japan with your friends and acquaintances.
Since I've traveled in Japan and directly experienced its traditions and culture, feel free to ask me about anything I've learned or experienced, and I'll explain it to you.
You seem to be pretending to know a lot, so first of all, what was the most memorable thing? Can you explain it properly?
First of all, I stayed overnight in Tokyo, and then immediately went to Kyoto. Since I hadn't studied anything beforehand, I could only be amazed by the solemnity of the shrines and temples, but it was truly a wonderful experience.
Is that all? If that's the case, even if you talk to your friends and acquaintances after returning to your country, they won't understand anything. Since you traveled to Japan, you probably want to be called a Japan expert. You should aim for that. Well then, let me explain the difference between shrines and temples. It may be a bit late to remember, but perhaps you can understand and agree with it now. Let me teach you from the perspective of shrines. In Japan, there is a faith called Shinto, and shrines are remnants of that. Of course, there are still people with devout faith. But the good thing about Japan is that it has a loose and broad approach to faith. Shinto is a sacred place that embodies a sense of gratitude and reverence for nature and gods, which has been common worldwide since ancient times. Shrines typically enshrine specific deities. You must have seen the Torii Gate and the main hall, right? These are typical features of shrines. Next, let me explain about temples. Temples are also referred to as terrain. These places are centered around the belief of Buddhism, and serve as locations for the teachings and practices that were transmitted from India in ancient times. In other words, temples have become places to convey the true meanings and intentions of Buddhist teachings and statues. The essence of Japan lies in the fusion of Shinto, which respects nature, and Buddhism, coexisting in a loose manner. That's why Japan is accepting of various beliefs, such as Christmas and Halloween, showing tolerance towards different faiths. I like that aspect. Through visits to shrines and temples, I believe we can find inner peace and spiritual growth. Visiting Japan can be a life-changing experience.
I finally understand. I was confused for a while. Once I save up money after returning home, I will come back to Japan while you are studying abroad. I'm sure of it, now that I understand the meaning and purpose. I want to consider visiting Japan again.
We'll be waiting for you. Have a safe journey. As the departure time approached, the two of us bid farewell for a while. In addition to that, we provided explanations on Japanese culture in about 4 more videos together. If you are interested, please watch the other videos too. What is the meaning of wabi, sabi, and the theme of other videos, such as ramen? Please watch them. If you like, please consider subscribing to the channel too.